Convos. It's your boy, the one with the SkarxFace, your boy SkarxFace, and today I'm with my beautiful girlfriend, Ariana.
Hey
guys. And I want to thank you guys for always tuning into the episodes every week. I know you guys loved the cheating episode that we did, and also the dating with ADHD. People have been able to relate a lot more to the podcast, mainly because, we talked about it. This is like our fourth take. Because
somebody can't press record.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to press record. Something wasn't recording. That wasn't recording. This wasn't recording. But we're back. We fixed it. We're locked in. Everything's recording right now. But people have loved that. And then we also talked about the feedback that we've gotten from the podcast.
Yeah.
Because people have really enjoyed it on my end.
And on my end too.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you, how has the feedback been on your end?
Okay, so we did the ADHD and relationships podcast, and I talked about how patient he is, and whatever I say in the podcast is 100% true. And you guys know we say some pretty painful shit, like self-accusatory stuff on the podcast, really being transparent with you guys. So whatever, I want you guys to know sincerely, that whatever we say is based on true events. It's not us trying to flex or be a fake relationship or anything. And I talk about how patient and kind he is. And my favorite parallel that you guys drew was to the show Nobody Wants This. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's with Adam Brody and Kristen Bell. And a lot of parallels between Adam Brody and Edgar, just how accepting he is and how patient, you're super patient. It's crazy. And that was just kind of what a lot of the women in my DMs were saying. Were just you guys give me hope that there's a man out there who can, quote unquote, handle me. And I don't like that phrase, by the way. I think it's pretty ableist. But just be patient. And I know there's somebody out there for me because I see it in you guys, which is super cool. And then on the cheating podcast, it was a lot of people saying either that's fucked up, you guys cheated, or damn girl, you guys have a lot of balls to come out and talk about it and take accountability and be open and transparent with each other, which I love.
Yeah, and not a lot of people will talk about things like that. That's why obviously it's called Uncomfortable Convos. And I think we do really well with, obviously talking about the where we messed up. And this wasn't a few weeks ago, you know what I mean? It wasn't we did it to each other. And I know she actually hated the thumbnail that I did because it says why we cheated or something like that.
It was scandalous, okay?
But people, the reason I like to do clickbait, not clickbait in a bad way. There's people who clickbait and will say why we cheated. And then once you get into the podcast, they never cheated at all.
Right, yeah.
They're just talking about why other people cheated.
Yeah.
But we actually did. So it wasn't I was lying, And so because we basically did. And so I put that in the title because it helped it a lot. And not only that, we got great feedback, I can't believe, that I'm so glad I found this podcast, you guys touch on a lot of things that, that I can relate to. And if you can't relate to it, that's fine.
It's still good cheese, man.
Yeah, some people are there for the tea, and it's great. That's why people have loved the lives that I've been doing. I actually have a new thing that I want to do on the lives. I haven't ran it by her yet, but I know she'll be.
Okay, let's hear this together, guys.
She'll be down to do it. I actually had a great idea by a friend. Is either I am going to start doing it, or if she's willing to jump on and also do it, we're going to rank people's relationships. So I have this format, it's going to say, because for example, this person was do you guys know each other's dads? Do you guys know the X, Y, and Z? And then each one is going to be a certain amount of points. And then at the end, we're going to be your relationship ranked in our scale, not over, on our scale. Because he was watching somebody who does something similar. And he's it's very entertaining. And he's if you did it with relationships, because we talk about a lot of relationships and things like that.
Okay, but if you like it, I love it, baby. Mm-hmm. Okay, like everything. But we're going to have to do us first.
Oh, absolutely.
Because...
No, yeah, absolutely. We'll be the first ones.
Yeah, we can't be out there hypocritical. We gotta do it first.
We'll be the first ones.
Okay.
And then
oh my God, I'm not ready for this, but I'm down.
But the reason I want to do this is because so many people go live and just look at the screen. Yeah. And just answer random questions. Or if they have they're super boring.
Right.
There's some people who freaking battle, which is the most cringiest shit you can do. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. Oh, hey, someone sent a glove. You seriously can't entertain your audience. You have to go into battle. and you guys know you guys are giving them a shit like money, right?
Is that TikTok?
Yeah, on
Okay.
TikTok they battle and it's money, it's gifts that they're giving them. So they at the end of the night, depending on like how well their battles go, they probably made like $50-$100. But at what cost?
I don't know.
You know, you will never see me battle.
Me either, because I don't really know how that works. He's the real influencer.
Yeah, like you'll never see me battle just because I want people to come onto the lives and be entertained. Like whether it be like us talking, us ranking people's relationships.
I want people to come on lives and get actual actionable tools to implement in the relationships today.
Yeah, and then also that's why we do I like doing the cheating ones that I've been doing. Like when I go live and they explain how they got cheated on, just because the comments are great.
Yeah.
Not because they're like bashing them. They're just
they're helping them.
Exactly. They're very helpful. And so people like watching them.
You guys know how many tips and tricks I got like for the iPhone of how to check things like this and that? Like, I dare you to cheat on me now.
Girl, why would I cheat? Have you seen her?
I know.
Have you seen
He's
her?
right. He's right.
Have you seen her? And have you she gets a little spicy.
My mom's listening.
Hi. She's a great woman. But I want to start doing stuff like that just because I want people to come to our TikToks, Instagram, whatever it is, and be entertained by it. Be like, I want to join their live. Not, he's live, he's fucking battling again. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that. There's some people that I follow that all they do is battle. And so I never click on their live.
You follow them.
You know what I mean? Like, I never, because I like some of the content they put out, but I'm not trying to watch you battle. Like, what do I get out of it? You know what I mean? Like, I like joining lives where they're doing cool things. That's why, like, I don't know if you've seen it, people opening like baseball cards, people like doing stuff like that. Yeah. Which is entertaining, you know? And I just want
I love the freaking ASMR ones.
Yeah, see, like there's different.
Oh my God, I'm just there for like, I could be there for an hour. Just like, wow.
And I want it to be almost like a TV show for you guys where you guys are like, they're going live at 8 p.m. We have to fucking be there.
Ari's going to say some foul shit. I already know.
Yeah, like, so I want that. I don't want them to be like, oh, he's fucking battling again. Oh, he's like just staring at a screen again. And because I'm sure you've seen it when like people who don't go live that often, they just go live and then they look at the screen and wait for people to say something.
All right, I'm going to wait a couple minutes for people to hop on.
Yeah, and then they're just looking.
And I'm just there like, can you start now?
Yeah, and so that makes me leave.
Oh, yeah.
It makes me leave. So, but we certain things because they just avoid those conversations. And so we're just open about it. We talk about them, and then it helps us learn each other more, if that makes sense.
100%.
So, but we wanted to do a Q&A episode for you guys because you actually did come last minute to come visit. And so we were like, hey, let's do like a quick Q&A episode.
I always pop up last minute. Relationship advice, ladies. If you're long distance, pop up last minute.
Yeah, and like, have I ever once been like,
no, I have a key to his house. It's fine.
Yeah, she also has a key. So it's not like I'm just going to be like, how the fuck you get it? You know, like, no. So yeah, she has the key to that. And so we wanted to do a Q&A episode for you guys. So we put some question things up, and we're actually going to read some of them. So let's get into those. All right. So we'll get into, because she just sent me her questions first. We'll get into those first because they're right here. So one question, we're not going to read the names, so sorry. Do you guys live together yet? How do you manage different living styles? Now, we don't live together yet.
No.
Here in the future, she does plan to move out to Gilbert. We'll see where we're at there, you know, because of course, like when you're with somebody, I'm not planning on like, oh, we'll see how. No, we're eventually going to be living together.
Something that he said that really struck me one time. He was answering a follower's question, and he was saying, the girl was saying like, we've been long distance for like 6 years, or whatever, and he was like, girl, no, because you're not meant to stay long distance. Something has to give.
Yeah, like one person has to decide, hey, I'm going over there, or hey, she's coming over here.
And the reason that I'm moving here is, for those of you like who know my backstory and everything, I'm from a really small town in California, Imperial, California. I have 3 kids, and it was time for a new chapter in our life. And I feel like that small town vibe, like nothing is helping us over there. There's no opportunities for my kids here. There was no opportunities for me there, and I still stayed. But over here in Arizona, there's like a lot more opportunities. If I'm being really honest, I don't want to stay in California anymore. And so it just made sense for me, like yo y mis pollitos, to pick up and move over here.
And
I
Gilbert's
just
nice.
yeah, Gilbert's super nice over here. And I just told him like, hey, if you build it, we will come.
Yeah,
Like, but I'm not coming. But he already knows. Like, I'm not picking my kids up from their safe spot and everything to move to nothing. I was like, you go, build a nest and like we'll go. But yeah, probably in a couple months from the end of the school year. I also don't want to rip them from the middle of the school year academically. So
yeah, and that gives us plenty of time to learn each other too, like a lot more, you know.
yeah, what if you end up hating me?
That's actually one of the questions.
Well, yeah, which brings us to the other question, like our living styles, or what did it say?
Yeah, what about your living styles?
Super different.
Yeah, I think everybody is different. Nobody is very the same. You know what I mean? Like I've never
False.
Huh?
False.
What?
Some people are the same. You could have like two, and I know this is an ADHD girl that asked this question, and I know where she was heading with this. Who's messy? Who's clean? Does it piss him off that you're messy? I'm messy. He's clean. He's like the hyper organized, like, and I have 3 kids, so I'm running everywhere and stuff. Like, if I'm making dinner in the kitchen, I can feel him. He's kind of just like
No. She thought just because I was. See, this is why it's glad that we have these conversations, because this is how I explained it to her. So it's not like I'm like, oh, like keep it clean. No, it's.
Are you guys laughing yet?
It's kind of how like my parents brought me up. It's like as soon as you finish, you put it away.
And
so
my mom didn't raise me like that.
And I'm so used to that. It's not like I'm saying like, hey, like keep your shit. No, like I understand. Like I understand kids. I'm around my nephew. My mom used to babysit a bunch of kids.
But do you guys ever feel like somebody's like in back of you, like breathing down your neck? And I'm not saying that he does this, but do you guys ever feel like that kind of like, but it's you putting the own expectation on yourself? You know what I mean? Like,
and I also,
they're judging me. I know they're judging me, but maybe they're really not.
And I also start cleaning because like she's cooked. It's because she knows her daughters, like what they like, what they don't like.
And the girls are here with us right now.
And so I feel useless. Like watching her, I'm always the type that I want to help do something.
Yeah, that's true.
So guess what? What I'm gonna do? Let me clean up a little bit, like because she's like. Sometimes they like their strawberries cut certain ways, and sometimes they don't like. And so it's not like I can be like, "Oh shit, okay." So she's like, cutting
okay,
it,
one of my daughters has autism, and so things have to be like a certain way for her. Which of course, we're gonna do whatever they need in their ways. But so he doesn't know a lot of like her quirks and her like specificities right now. So yeah, I guess he's just in back of me, like trying to help in whatever way he can.
Yeah,
but it's
because like
we're getting used to it.
Yeah, sometimes she's in the kitchen like doing something for them, and I'm just like standing there, and I'm just like I don't feel.
Pero
like,
no te estás haciendo pendejo. I mean, you're not picking your nose over there. I mean,
no, I know, that's why I'm like, but me how I am, I'm just like I need to do something. Like I want to help somehow. So.
True.
Naturally, I'm just like, oh, are you done with this? Like, let me put it away. Like, while you do this.
We're going to get to the point, though. We're going to get to the point where all of my, like right now, I'm on my best behavior, guys. But we're going to get to the point where he's like, oh my God, this is who I chose to be with. But I've already told him, like I'm not, don't shake your head, baby. It's going to get there. Like,
no,
it's just, I think our styles will mesh, however. But,
no,
and also like my kids are getting older, so I don't have like a lot of like the toddler mess anymore.
No, the reason I kind of know, like I've never lived with her for like a long period of time. It's only like 2, maybe 3 days in a row. Like when she comes and stays the weekend. But for example, I dated somebody before who was, I wouldn't say she had ADHD, but she was bad.
Well, no, let's not say bad. Let's be specific. Was she disorganized? Was she dirty? Was she?
No, she was just very messy. Like very messy.
I think women tend to be messier.
And so it's not something that I told her, hey, don't do this. It was just more like, hey, are you done here? Like, let me just clean it real quick.
I know, but can you guys hear that? Like, it can sound a little passive aggressive to us who are a little bit more emotionally sensitive. And like in a past relationship, I had a lot of that like passive aggression where it was just like, are you done?
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, sorry.
And I don't want her to, just because I get that satisfaction of seeing it put away, if that makes sense.
It's just hard for me to like
And
acknowledge that when he says like, "Hey, are you done?" He's really just asking like if I'm done, and he's not meaning anything beyond that. Like he's like, "Hey, are you done? So I can help you complete the process or something." He's not like, "Hey, are you gonna fucking pick that up or what?"
yeah, never
Because
that.
that's what I was used to. So we both have our things that we're used to that we're kind of breaking out of.
Yeah, because like she did something over here, and I was like, "Hey, are you done with this?" Not in a bad way, like put it away. More like, "Hey, are you done?" Because I'm cleaning up the kitchen a little bit. Like I'll put it away. You know, like clean it up a little bit. Not like the fuck you leave it here
If
for.
you know, you know. If you know the tone, you know.
Yeah,
You didn't do the tone, but yeah.
yeah, but I had to tell her that because she's like, you got to get used to like. But I was like, no, I was like literally like just putting stuff away.
Which is
And-
great because you know, like when
And
with
it was
like
and it was asking. I was asking her like not in a bad way, not like pick up your shit. Hey, are you done? Like, so I
yeah.
can put it away. I'm cleaning the kitchen right now, so I can put it away. If not, I'll leave it here so you can keep using it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh wow, he put everything away, but what I was using, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that gives a different vibe. Like he didn't want to touch what
I'll just keep it at this. If you know, you know.
So, but definitely with everybody, you got to get used to. You know what I mean? Because I don't think I've ever. I think one person may be a little bit more cleaner and organized than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're both messy, then it's just like a free for all.
Yeah, that's very true.
You know
That's
what I
very
mean?
true. As long as, because you know, like I did tell you, like we'll get into our depressive episodes and things, and like you know, maybe get messy, like maybe let hygiene go a little bit, this and that. And it sounds maybe like rough on the surface, but like I said, those of you guys who are listening who follow my page, like you know, we talk about the real shit, right? And I did tell him like, hey, this is how I can get. I can go into a pretty deep hole, and this is how I need you to support me. But it just comes down to communication.
Yeah, absolutely. So, no, not living together, and we are still learning each other's living styles, basically.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's go into the next question. The next one that she has he seen your messy side? What does he think? Etc.
You see, you guys, no. So this was like one of the number one questions. And no, he hasn't seen my messy side. And if he's thinking, well, yeah, I have. No, you haven't.
No, I don't. I don't think I have.
No, he has not.
I don't think I have. But again, this comes back to saying like, it's not like it would be new to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be like, holy shit, like what the fuck happened here? Like, you know, because I've dealt with somebody who was like that before, and it wasn't like.
Well, let's not do the whole dealt with talk, but you've
Well,
experienced.
well, yeah, like I don't mean it like that. It's like I've been with somebody who was messy, you know, but you just learn to compromise.
Right, sure.
Yeah, it's not like, hey, pick up your shit. It's just more like I know how this person is, and cool.
This is a really weird thing that I experienced. He left his clothes on the floor, and like a couple times, and it kind of like brought me a little bit of joy because I was like, oh, like he's not 1,000% perfect like he appeared to be, because you're super clean and organized otherwise. But like when I saw your clothes on the floor, I was kind of like, what? He's human, and I kind of liked it a little bit.
True.
I also did pick him up, but yeah.
Yeah, she got mad at me.
Oh
No,
my
just
gosh.
joking.
You guys know that's bullshit.
All right. So the next one, I want to answer this one. It's not the next one, but I want to answer it. Do you prefer that man's beard dyed or natural real man? And
This was a. Go ahead, baby. This was sent to me, by the way, from a man.
yeah, so everyone, well, not everyone, some people, even my uncle, thought I dyed my beard for some reason. Like, what I told him, I was like, it's not my fault. My beard stays black and yours looks like you fucking
Patchy and all.
patchy and gray. His was actually, and then he does the whole like at the time. I don't know if he still does it.
Like the black line.
No. He didn't grow very much, so he like fluffed it out.
Ooh.
So it was just like it looked like a bunch of pubes all over. Like,
What I wish you guys could see was how like dimensional it is. He's got a little bit of salt and pepper coming in. We'll fucking eat you up. He's got like some red, like
yeah, and so
his parents are from Jalisco, so if you know, you know. Like everybody ends up getting red in their beard, like those kind of Mexicans. But like, oh my god, it's dimensional. It's thick.
yeah, and
Don't be jealous. Whoever asked that question was a hater.
Yeah, I was like, either they one have a neck beard, two have a patchy beard,
Ew.
you know, or three can't even grow a beard.
I'm gonna act brand new and say can't relate.
And so, but yeah, never dyed my hair or never dyed my beard. I've dyed my hair. Obviously, if you go back on my page,
Yeah.
I've had it blonde, like the platinum blonde and stuff like that. But never once in my life have I touched the beard. Somebody asked me to dye my beard too, like when I dyed it like blonde and platinum. They're like, "Oh, you should do your eyebrows and beard too." I was like,
Oh
"Yeah,
Jesus
no."
Christ, no.
But never touched it. Don't need to. Our family genetics for hair is actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, if you guys were to see like his dad and his brothers and stuff, they got some fucking hair on them.
Yeah, and so like, and it stays black for a long time. Because I have a buddy, shout out to Julio.
Show him your hair too, babe, because you have a thick ass head of hair.
Yeah, like shout out, like his hair, like he has we call him a bunch of canas. But that's all genetics. It's not like a bad thing. Our genetics are just a little bit better because we don't go bald as fast.
We're just blessed.
We don't go bald as fast, and then our hair stays pretty black for because even my grandpa like he's like close to 80, I think now. Still full set of hair. You know what I mean? So and
let me find out.
And typically you get your hair genes from your dad's side of the family. So
I'm gonna fact check that, but anyways,
go ahead and fact check
next
that.
question.
So I just wanted
thought it was from your mom's side, but whatever.
So how did you guys meet and you guys looked together? But what you guys look together? By the way, there was nothing else. But they must.
We
have
look great together, unless they're like, you guys look fucking stupid together.
And I thought we talked about this.
I don't know, babe. But that was the number one question on my thing is how did we meet?
Yeah. Well, basically, from what I remember, is that she liked some of my stuff.
Yes.
I saw her photo.
I liked like 10 reels in a row, like rapid fire, just like, and I wasn't trying to get his attention, but I was like, wow, this guy's making some sense.
Yeah, and then after that, I followed her back because I noticed it, and then.
No, I didn't follow you. You followed me.
No, you were following me. It said follow back.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, oh, she's even following me? She
Damn.
wants these nuts. No, I'm just
And I did.
and so I followed her back, and then I sent her a DM. She didn't answer until like a few days later.
Take notes, ladies.
And then from there, first it was initially just going to be.
We were flirting.
Yeah, initially
flirting.
It was going to be a collab. But then obviously we just kept talking and kept flirting with each other.
And he was like, how would you like to collab with me for the rest of my life?
Yeah, exactly.
Basically. Yeah.
But that's basically how we met.
It was in the DMs, guys.
Yeah.
It went down in the DMs. Let me just tell you that. He slid in. I waited like a couple of days. And then I was at a concert. I was at a Foo Fighters concert with my son in San Diego. And he like sent me like, what did he send me like money or something? I don't know. He just like, he was like, I don't know. He sent me something and he was like, hey, for being a great mom or something. Because I had posted on my story that I was there with my son. And he was like, that's badass. Like some moms would just like send their kid with a friend or whatever. But that's cool that you're there with your son. My son's a teenager. So he's like, yeah, it's cool that you're spending time with your son. He sent me something like a little gift. He's like, for being a great mom. And I was like, that was fucking sexy. Like when I say that the bar was on the floor, I mean that the bar was on the floor. He sent me, I don't know, it was like $25 to Starbucks or something. And I was like, wow, that was fucking sexy. But anyways, that's how it ended. That's how it happened. But I was like, he acknowledged my motherhood. He acknowledged like, I don't know. I liked that.
That and like people always think that you're gonna find, like, in order to find somebody you have to find them on like a dating app.
Like a dating app. No. And honestly, okay, people say don't find people on Instagram, but I don't understand that because I like Instagram because I got to see like who he was, his personality. Now, like barring any unforeseen circumstances that he was not the person that he presented himself to be online, and maybe I wasn't either. Like I was like, if this is who he is, like I fuck with this. Like he gave a lot of the same advice that I would have given myself. And I think that's what I liked about him. I don't know what the fuck he liked about my page. If you guys follow me, I'm out there like I'm a chaotic fucking mess. I cry a lot and I don't like public places. And he was just like, yeah. Like what was it for you?
Well, one, it's the smile. That's what always gets me. And then I start creeping. not in a bad way.
I got
It
these
just,
teeth on me. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
and they just start looking through your profile, and I was like, oh, she's like, I like how she was on camera, how she talked, how she just interacted, uh, and yeah, so I that's what I liked. And then obviously you're not gonna know too much about them at that point because you're only taking what you get through their feed. Uh, but once
I
you,
blind FaceTimed him.
yeah,
That's
but
what it was.
by the time you no, you just start learning somebody over time. You know what I mean? Like this is kind of like, hey, this is what like the smile. I loved your personality on the
Yeah.
videos and stuff like that. And then come to find out she's just as cool in person. You know that
I think I'm way cooler in person, to be honest.
actually, yeah.
Maybe slightly more autistic, but
No, she's really cool in person. You know what I mean? Like she can also talk too. There's some people who can't have conversations.
that's what I'm saying. That I blind FaceTimed you. I was just like, I was getting ready or something, and I was like, I would like to talk to him. And he was in a U-Haul driving all of his stuff from Idaho out here to Arizona. It was loud as fuck in the U-Haul, but we still made it happen. And we talked for like an hour or something.
Yeah.
And then
We just kept talking. And then I think from there we FaceTimed almost every day.
yeah.
And we still have, unless we're together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because even when I travel, like I try to FaceTime her at some point. Even if it's not our usual at night, at least throughout the day at some point.
Everybody's head has to hit the pillow. Everybody goes to sleep eventually. So if a guy is not making time for you because he was busy or whatever, when his head hits the pillow, he's got about 5 minutes, I would say, before he falls asleep. Like, so we don't make any excuses for each other. We're long distance, and I'm a mom. I have busy days. He travels a lot. He works a lot. You work like 18-hour days. I don't know how you don't get tired, but like our heads have to hit the pillow at some point. So that's when that FaceTime call happens. Like if he wanted to, he would.
Get into the next question. Also, not a question, but I really like you guys as a couple. Thank you.
Gracias.
How do your girls feel about him? Do you mind the ladies still being thirsty for him?
Okay, so by my girls, I'm pretty sure that one meant my daughters. I do have 2 daughters. They come with me over here when I visit.
They're actually here today.
They're actually here today. They're out being bribed. They're playing outside, and anyways, so Bailey and Luna are 9 and 6, or almost 7, and they love coming over here. They like Edgar, and I won't say love Edgar because my girls are a very slow burn, like, and which is something that I appreciate about them. My kids like can't be bought. My kids go off vibes. They're very perceptive and everything, but he's got nothing but good vibes, and he's really cool with them. I don't feel like you're overly like, guys, do you want a toy? Like nothing like that. But
No, and then we also just try to do like little things with them. Like yesterday, we went to the movies. We went to go watch Beetlejuice.
we're at the pool all day with them.
Yeah, we went to the pool with them. They really liked the movie theater because it was like
Because he took us to the bougie ass movie theater. Okay, we're from a really small town, and my daughters don't know anything about luxuries like that. So he took us to the one with like the recliners. It was like super cool. So yeah, they really enjoyed that.
they were like, oh
They do
my
like
God.
their nice things.
They were like, oh my God.
They were pushing the recliner button like, zzz, oh my god.
So I mean,
Anyways,
they're cool. And then also like you said, like you
and I have a son too.
yeah, we're still working on him.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't put it like that. My son is, and I'll say this, and the moms listening, let me just be super transparent. I have fucked up with my son. I had my son when I was 16, and I've my late husband passed away when my son was 8 years old, and I kind of rushed into a relationship after that and completely fucked things up with my son, like in trying to force him to have a relationship with my ex, and like I fucked things up with him. So now I'm trying to do things correctly and everything, and I'm like, if you don't want to come, you don't have to come. Like you can, he has things to do at home. He has friends at home. He has his girlfriend at home and everything like that. I was like, stay with grandma if you want. When you want to come out, you can come out with us. But right now I have the little ones with me, but my son's a teenager, so and he's not weird about it either. It's just like, dude, I've been a teenage boy too. It's fine. Like, I'm pretty sure if I was a teenage boy and some dude was trying to date my mom, I'd be like, whatever too.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like I told her too, like I wouldn't want her. She doesn't force him at all. I wouldn't want her to force her to be like, no, you have to talk to Edgar. You have to like Edgar.
And I think that we fuck up like that as women sometimes. Like, hey, le vas a respetar. You're gonna respect him. No, because
like-
respect is a two-way street as well. And
Like-
as long as they're not disrespectful, which my son would never. But
Like I've met him before and just had hi to him for a little bit, you know. And nothing crazy. Like, hey, buddy, how's it going? How was school?
Cringe as
You know what I
fuck.
mean? Nothing like that. I was like, what's
how
up?
was school?
I was like, what's up, dude? And he's like, hi.
That's it.
Yeah, you just
We're not
go
gonna
based
force
off
it.
base. You know, I was like, eventually, whenever he does feel comfortable, he'll be the one asking me, be like, hey, what's up, man? Like, how's your day? Something small like that. Nothing like, so what got you into social media? You know what I mean?
Nah. But you're cool as fuck, and like he's cool as fuck, and he's super. My son is super focused on school, focused on his career goals. He wants to be a veterinarian. So
Then
he's
he just broke. Didn't he beat his personal PR and?
yeah, he's in cross country, so he's focused like in his sports and his like personal growth and stuff. My son is an Aries. If you know, you know. He's worried about himself, his growth, his happiness, and I absolutely love that for him. So I'm not trying to impede that at all.
So yeah. All right. So next question.
You know what? I'm mad that we didn't get the bone in or boneless question because we're both bone in. I'm asking the question nobody wanted to know, but I need to let people know that boneless wings are soggy chicken nuggets. Can I get an agree?
Yes, but
No. Say yes, period.
no. If I'll order bone wings,
Bone in, yeah.
but if there's boneless on the table, I'm gonna eat some boneless wings.
You
too.
want me boneless too or what?
No. But you know, like
No, you want me bone in. So.
if someone brought boneless, hey, be like, hey, you want one? I'm gonna grab. I'm not gonna.
Oh,
be like,
I'm never gonna say no to some food. But
Exactly.
Bone in.
All right. So let's see. Next question. How did you get past the dopamine rush and see that he was legit? These are her questions from her DM right now.
I'm not gonna lie. I think that we're still in a dopamine rush. I know that's not what you wanted to hear, babe, but I do believe that I'm still in that high. I don't believe I've hit the low yet, and that's just me being absolutely transparent. I know that he's always gonna make the effort to always keep it fresh and new and everything, so I'm not really worried about that. But I'm not gonna lie. I can't answer that question honestly right now because I believe I'm still in the rush.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that can go to a lot of relationships. Meaning, like,
Yeah.
it's just like the whole honeymoon phase, puppy love phase.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
but for us, it's like magnified.
Yeah, so like it's almost that, but also during that time, I mean, you have to put in the effort that you're gonna be able to maintain. Meaning,
Right.
like doing this, doing that, like
Keep this energy.
yeah, like even if we'll say because we don't live together right now, being able to I know I have to FaceTime her at least once a day. You know what I mean? Because when I think it was in Chicago, where like we were running all over, and then we got a like quick little break. I laid down in the hotel room because we went back to change, and I FaceTimed her real quick, you know,
Yeah.
because afterwards we were gonna go out to eat and stuff like that. So it's just knowing that, and just everything else, how we communicate, how we are with each other.
Effort is so sexy though. Like it's like now he fucks with me.
But
He fucks with me.
it also has to be something that you can maintain, because there's so many people who put so much effort in the beginning. Like they dedicate their whole life to this person in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, like a year and a half in, they start dialing back because they're like, I've been giving this person all my attention and I really lacked on doing this, and this. And so some people feel like that person is not really into me anymore because they're like, why is he giving me less time? Why
Well,
is he
because they spent their whole emotional bank account on you in the first year. Also, piggybacking off of that, which we did talk about, is keeping that same energy financially.
Oh, that
okay?
too. We
I
talked
told
about that.
him like don't like because his love language is giving gifts. He showers me and the kids with gifts. Ridiculous, like all the time. It's not something I'm used to. Obviously, it's something that I love, but it did take me a little bit to acclimate to that. But I was like, please don't be doing this if you cannot keep up this energy. And he was like, girl, you're fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, but it's also people, like when you say gifts, they think maybe I'm giving you like an iPhone every time I send you something. You know what I mean? It's
You literally gave me an iPhone, but anyways.
okay, yeah, but but it's like little things too. Be like, oh, I remember when she was talking to her friend and she was like, oh, I really like her cup, and I ended up sending her like one of those
I was FaceTiming him and
it's not this one, but it's those brewmate.
the brewmate. I freaking
like
love the brewmate cups. I'm not a Stanley girl. Brewmate all the way, by the way. But anyways, I was FaceTiming him. I was like, oh my God, I love this cup. And like he was like, okay, one is gonna be there Wednesday.
Yeah.
He sends me just little things all the time. But I was like, you better keep up this energy. Like, but it's not just the gifts too, babe. It's like we go out a lot. A lot. Like you take me out everywhere. Like we've done Vegas, we've done Mexico, we've done everything. And I just told you, like, if you cannot keep this up, please, like, don't do it in the first place. Because you found me in a place where I was very hyper independent. And so, I mean, it's just that, like, keep up this energy. Like, I know you're going to be busy, so any little pocket of time you always gave me, but keeping up the energy both, like, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and financially.
Well, yeah, because a lot of people go broke trying to do stuff.
People go broke trying to like impress people, and that's just not the business. And I'm more like, let's eat at home. Like he took me to the grocery store and was like, get all your stuff. I got all my spices. Okay, Latina girls know like we cannot be in a kitchen without our consomme, our ajo, cebolla. You know what I mean? So he took me for all of that. That was sweet.
Yeah, because like also like the way I am is like, well, some guys too are they'll just buy what they need. Like
yeah, if you're a single guy, he had very single guy vibes here. So I just
because she was like, "Do you have one of these?" I was like, "No," because I never needed to use it.
He's like, "A what?"
Like I knew what she was talking about. It's just like I know what you're talking about, but no, I don't have one because I've never needed to use it.
Yeah.
And if I needed to, I'd probably just go get it. But like when you don't. Like when I went to go buy some stuff at the store, right, for like my place. It's like, oh, I need this because I use this. I need this because I use this. Some of these other things I don't use, but she uses, and which is totally fine. So I've never bought one.
Mostly kitchen stuff.
Yeah.
What was the question again?
It was about the dopamine rush.
Okay. I think we answered it.
Yeah, we got that one.
How are you just gonna let me take the reins? Can you just tell me to shut the fuck up?
No, because I said it was similar to the honeymoon and puppy love phase.
So the honeymoon phase, yeah. Keep up that same energy is the point.
How do we feel about our partners following adult models?
Okay, this is what we disagreed on, guys.
No, so here,
of.
I'll give her my 2 cents on what I'm talking about. So I said yes, following the models who post thirst traps, like bikini photos and stuff like that. I get it. Yeah.
You get what?
Like, that's not, you shouldn't be doing that to your partner. You know what I mean? Liking. And then she even said that she experienced before commenting, sending stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. But I told her what I do agree on is because she sent me this is the same example I used when we were talking earlier. She sent me a reel by some guy. And I thought he did ADHD content.
No, it was just about the zodiac. It was just about cancer stuff.
The video was about cancer, but I think he does ADHD content. Because I watched the little podcast because I wanted to see if there were similarities. Because he did a podcast with somebody. And he was talking about him and his ADHD. Okay. And the same thing about being intimate.
Okay.
And so would I get upset for you following somebody like that? No.
But I think this is where nuance comes in, right? So what he's talking about is like, if you follow an influencer for the information that they give you,
or the content they're creating,
or the content that they give you, because there's something relatable about it, fine. Now, if you go on my page, there is no way that you could ever deny that I make content for the girlies, gays, and days. Okay, if you go on somebody else's, maybe another female influencer's page, there's no denying that they make content for like their OnlyFans or this and that, like kind of like thirst trappy kind of content, which more power to you. Go make your fucking money, get a buck, whatever. But like we all know where our lane is, right? So if your man is following those kinds of women, you have to ask yourself, and don't be afraid to pose a question to him, like, what do you get out of this? And then have him look you in the eye and give you a straight answer. Like, how can you look your woman in the eye and say, like, I appreciate the artistry of it? Shut the fuck up.
No, yeah, absolutely. But that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Um,
But we differed because because where did we differ on this?
because you said another example that I brought up is that people tend to follow me because of the advice. Yes, some of the stuff is more on the spicier side, and I get that. But a lot of the stuff is like the helpful chisme, tea, like that type of stuff. And the reason I say this, I know she's gonna say what she said earlier. For example, on some videos you may get 500, 1,000 likes, whatever, right? And only like 20, 30 comments. She was saying that what your comments say is what your content is typically about. And I said no, because, for example, there's some people who post and they get negative comments, but that's because they decided to leave. Most people will leave a negative comment. Yes, there's some people who leave positive comments, but it's not as common as the negative ones.
Which is not true for my content.
Well, not for your content, but there's other people. Like, if everyone who got something from the content and they would comment, I think it would be different. Compared to what the comments say.
Okay, here's what I'm saying. Look, if you go to his comments, it's a bunch of let's tap in on the other thing where it said like, are you still like, what do you think about the women still being thirsty over him and everything? That's fine. Keep engaging. Keep getting him paid. Like, whatever. That's completely fine. I'm not an insecure woman. Do your thing, girlies. That's fine. I mean, if he wasn't fucking hot, I wouldn't be here. So, anyways, what? But that's the majority of what his comments say. Now, if you go to my content, and his follower base is like, I don't know what it is now, but it used to be 97% women, 3% men. Mine is also 97% women, 3% men. So you see like the juxtaposition there. But if you go to my content and on my comments, it's like, oh my God, girl, so relatable. Thank you. Now on his stuff, he helps a lot of women kind of snap back into it and see that they deserve more, find their worth and everything like that. I'll give you that. That's why I started following him, and that's why I appreciate his relationship advice in the first place. But I just think that if you take a creator's comments in its entirety, let's go back to the thirst traps and should your partner follow these Instagram models and everything, go to their comments. Is it mostly like age 40 to 60-year-old men saying, wow, you look lovely. I would treat you like a queen if you were my woman. If it gets cringy like that, you know their type of content. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. And I get where she came.
And I don't think, do you? And I never checked out your followers, but.
No.
I mean, you're following. I've never checked out who you're following, is what I mean.
Oh, just random people.
You know I think we follow like about the same kind of people. Like
on my Scar Talks page, the only people I try to follow is people that, one, my funny accounts, meaning like
memes, things we send each other all the time.
Yeah, memes, and then
funny hood clips.
No, people who
crazy
sure.
bitch props.
But then like also people who've been on the TikToks or the podcast, so I can collab post with them.
Right,
like sometimes you have to be following each other for those, like depending on how your profile is set up.
Okay, and like he follows Jacqueline Balthazar, so do I. I thought that was super cool when I met him, by the way. I'm a huge fan. But like he collabed with her on the podcast, so you obviously still follow her because you guys are friends. Mm-hmm. Fine, like
yeah, and
he doesn't need any makeup or outfit tips, but he still follows her because like, we're all creators here.
And it's funny because at the time, she does more fashion stuff, but when I got tagged on her page because someone saw that we were talking about similar things. Mm-hmm. We were both talking about booty stuff. You know what I mean? I need to
see this.
And so
let's go back to the vault.
And so someone, I remember someone tagging me because I had no idea who she was. Someone tagged me on her post and was like, "What do you think of this?"
Love that.
And then I did one of those, like I responded to the comment like through a video, and so obviously it tagged her too. And so from there, after that, I started following her because she was doing a lot of that. Like another video she did was about the Vienna sausages, like how some guys have like the, you know. And so I was like, we're like talking about the same shit, you know, which is funny.
But see, there's like mutual like influencer / creator vibes and respect and collaboration and stuff. And then there's just your random fucking husband, fucking, Daniel balding and with his, I don't know, fucking Vienna sausage over here following yoga models.
Yeah, see, and so that's what I mean by that. Like it's content creators.
Super different though, baby. Like should your man be following all these thirst traps of women? Absolutely no, they shouldn't. And you shouldn't make any excuses for him either. And I'm just gonna black and white that right there. It's a no.
But she also understands the space that we're in. Like it's more of a
right. But for our followers, they're not in that space.
Yeah, so that's
for the everyday. Yeah, absolutely no. So your man should not.
That's why it's different. Like,
and your woman shouldn't either. Like girls, you guys shouldn't also be following like all these like male models and shit too, like liking everything. Like, and honestly, I'll go back to this because I used to have a lot of self-image issues, and I had an ex that followed all these women and everything, and I was just like, wow, like I don't look like that. Like, what's wrong with me? And of course, your man looks at you and says, "You're perfect the way you are. You don't need to get your boobs done. You're perfect. You don't need to get your body done." It's like, well, bitch, you're liking all these girls' pictures who are all done up. Like, it's the insecurities that come out, and your partner should always make sure to not feed into any of yours.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, so I mean, we basically answered that one. I wanted to answer this one on purpose. You often wear a shirt that says "stepdaddy in training." What are you doing to build a healthy relationship with Ari's kids? Do you worry that the nature of your content will affect them? So I'll answer this. We were actually talking about it earlier, how I basically manifested it, because when I made the shirt, I wasn't dating anybody. I was. So where I told her the whole stepdaddy stuff came from was not because I'm looking for a girl with with kids. I had gone on 2 dates, 2 different girls, both had kids. And so funny enough, the same group of people saw me on both dates. Small town vibes. And so they're like, Edgar only likes the single baby mamas. Like, that's his thing. And instead of being like, hey, like, stop. Like, no, it's not. I was like, you lean into it. And then you like, I leaned into it pretty hard though. You know what I mean? Because
home now, baby.
People thought it was hilarious. And so that's where the shirt came from too. And it's funny because before I even met her, I would like wear the shirt. I wear the shirt everywhere. And people would be like, I love that shirt. I'm also a stepdaddy in training. In my head, I'm like, I'm not dating anybody. You know what I mean? It's more of
whatever
just the shirt.
Works, yeah.
But yeah, that's where that shirt came from, or those vibes as well. But it's mainly just like I told her too before, like and just with anybody too, like I would want to be that positive influence, meaning like someone they can look up to. Be like, oh, like he's a hustler, he does this, you know, that I'm not gonna force myself to be, you know what I mean? Like it's hard to explain. Like you're
not gonna force yourself in a cringy way on the kids, like, hey guys, hey buddy, like no.
Yeah, like call me no, like
no.
I want them to be like, Edgar works a lot, or like works hard, you know, for like what they have. Like my parents work hard, you know, and also see a healthy relationship between you and me.
Right.
Because if they see a healthy relationship, then they're like, this is how we're supposed to be treated when we get older. Start dating.
Especially for the girls. Mm-hmm. You know, they obviously see, you know, how you treat me and everything, and they even tell you.
Yeah, and it's like for like say when they get older into dating, I'd be like, is he opening your door?
Right, of course.
And if he's not, I'd be like, stand next to the passenger door until he opens it.
Yeah.
You know, until it becomes a habit. Because no, like you're not gonna accept anything less.
Right.
Like,
but see, they would have seen that from you for years.
Yeah, you're a queen, and you're gonna be treated like one.
Right.
And if they can't do that.
And also with Oliver being like, bro, like don't tell me you didn't hold the door open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See,
like, yeah.
And it's just being a positive influence in that way. Like,
and you're doing a great job. I just have to say that.
Thank you. You know, like, because I say it all the time on the TikToks and stuff like that, is if the kids see a happy home, even if it's, because you know how they'll stay together for the kids.
Oh.
And have a toxic relationship. I was like, do you think they would rather be better in 2 happy separate homes or one toxic environment, and so sometimes, as long as you're doing great and amazing, you know, uh, and they get to see that you're being treated amazing. Like that's the most important. Like they need to see that. They need to know that. Because me growing up, uh, I've seen my parents argue, but nothing bad.
Como todos.
Most of the time, like they would leave or something like that if they were arguing. They didn't really want us to see it, because if you think you going and yelling in a different room is doing anything, like they're not seeing it. Oh, they're hearing it.
Trauma as fuck.
And they get the vibes. Like they can feel those vibes is off, right?
Yeah.
A good example is that I did a podcast with a buddy one time, and him and his wife used to fight all the time, like actually throw blows to each other.
Jesus Christ.
And his daughter could feel she'd be like, like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? Even though she didn't see what happened, like they felt the vibes, And so that's what I try to explain on the TikToks is they can pick up on that energy,
Yeah.
We just had a fight. I'm not talking to you. You know what I mean? No, I'm not.
Oh, I was like, no, we didn't.
I'm not saying we had a fight right now.
Okay.
I'm saying, like, say we had a fight. They're here. I'm not talking to you because I'm upset at you.
No, and my kids pick up on vibes quick.
And so I could have been like, like, oh, like, go ask her, you know what I mean? Like those type of vibes.
Kids are very perceptive. Let's not make it out like they're dumb.
Yeah, well, some people are like, my kid is so smart. They do this. But then when it comes to that, they're dumb.
Yeah, no, let's be fucking for real.
Yeah, no, if they're smart kids, they pick up on everything. So,
but you're going back to the question. You're doing a great job with the kids from my perspective, and yeah.
Well, thank you.
They're lucky to have you as a good influence.
Thank you. And then, and this is a similar question too. Have you taken up the role of stepdad yet? How's your experience? Sending you all the love. Thank you. That's from a friend back home. Well, it's Myra. Thanks, Myra.
Hey, Myra.
She also follows your stuff.
Thank you.
Loves you. But again, it's more when the girl is ready to bring them around. You know what I mean? Like I always told her, I was like, whenever you're ready, I'm like, no rush at all. Like whenever you feel comfortable, because let's be honest, there's some guys out here who are creeps, and you just want to protect your kids, especially girls.
Yes.
Especially girls.
I have 2 young girls, so they are very definite. And it's not that I don't trust him, but at the same time, we've only been together for a handful of months. So, like, women, even though you love him and you trust him and everything, please don't take this as shade to you.
No,
but you always have to be hyper vigilant with your girls. As somebody myself who has been abused, it's always somebody close to you, right? So you always have to be hyper vigilant. Do I like him? Yes. Do I love him? Yes. Am I gonna leave my girls with him while I go to the grocery store? No, because that's how things happen. And like I said, don't take this the wrong way, but it's just that he's taken his stepdaddy role very seriously as long as I've allowed it.
Yeah,
and I'll say that, and that's good on your part. That
and there's like certain situations, because I'm even scared, not like to step into that role, not at all.
No, you're just cautious.
It's more cautious because like I was gonna change real quick, and I locked the door. I was like, I don't want them to walk in like while I'm changing.
There are certain things that you have to be aware about, and it's like little micro things.
Yeah, and so like that's why, because I was like, imagine this. I'm changing, forgot to lock the door. They walked in. I'm like, no. They close it, and then later on they go and tell a friend, hey, I saw
my mom's boyfriend's butt. Like, come on.
Then they're gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Or if she says it so it's something like that, because they're so innocent. They didn't mean it in a bad way. Kind of like they just walked in.
It's just important for guys to remember that whatever the mom says, that's what's gonna go. Don't think that she's being too strict. Don't think that.
Yeah. And you have to be respectful, because I understand they're little girls, and they are. Again, we talked about guys who are creeps, guys who are.
Don't ever let your guard down, ladies.
Yeah.
Ever.
Don't ever. And I'll be happy the day like she like trusts me with them, but I know that's gonna take time.
A lot of time.
Yeah, and I'm not like I told her too before. Like I'm not planning on going anywhere, so that's perfectly fine. Like no
If
issue
you
at all.
find that a guy is pushing the issue, why don't you leave them alone with me? Why don't you trust me?
Yeah.
I think that's a red flag, to be
Like,
honest.
go to the store. They'll
No,
be
they're
fine.
fine here. Don't worry. No, like a guy who's in the know about things that are going on in the world is gonna be like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, there's moments that I get to chat with one of them. Like, she's like, "Hey, go with Edgar to go to the car real quick to get this," and it gives me a little bit of time just to talk to one of them. Like ask her questions and things like that. But it's not. We were walking to the car for like an hour.
3 minutes.
3-4 minutes. Like, we walked to go get something because she needed her eyeliner glue, right?
Eyelash glue.
Eyelash
Baby.
glue. Eyeliner glue. Eyelash glue. And then I needed to go get one of the tripods for the podcast, and we're just right at 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If that. And those little times, it's like I just get to talk to her. I asked her a few questions. Like, I was like, "What do you think? Where do you think is hotter?" I was like, "Arizona or where you're from?" And she's like, "Where I'm from."
Yeah, but I mean, then like you also have to like train your kids. Like, if anybody ever tells you, "Don't tell mommy this," immediately run and tell mommy. Like, so like I talk to my kids and everything, but we all say that. But yeah. Anyways, what was the original question?
But how like me stepping into that role? So
I mean, you're completely there, and I'm glad that you're understanding.
yeah, and it's just baby steps like along the
Baby
way.
steps.
All right, we're gonna get into the next question, and I'm glad some people asked us like non-relationship questions too. So
Perfect.
that way we can get also into those. This girl says, "Where to find a good guy?" Now, I'll give my 2 cents, and then we'll let her give her 2 cents. I always say is just anywhere, because you can find good guys on dating apps, in person, social media. You can go to church and find a great guy, but you can also go to church and find someone who's a piece of shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying it's not so much where to look for them. Obviously, like, you're not gonna find somebody stuck at home.
Right.
Or if you're constantly going to like one specific type of place, aka clubs and stuff like that, bars, and you keep finding bad people there, maybe switch it up a little bit. Like, go somewhere else. But it's really hard because you'll be, if I say, oh, use christiansmingle.com, you'll find great guys, and then the moment like she goes on there, the first guy is a bad guy, and now you're gonna be like, you fucking lied to me. But it's just like you'll meet great people in person and great people and bad people in person. It's more of having your boundaries, knowing what you will and will not accept, because you're gonna be able to kind of tell over a little period of time how that person is. Again, I know some people who met on Tinder, married to this day. They're still, actually a couple people now met, married now. Seems like they're in a great relationship, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I get it. People are on there to like, married people are on there to hook up, and things like that. So I get it. But the same way, if you've done nothing but in-person type of interactions, maybe give these dating sites a chance. You never know. It might work out. But just also be aware that a lot of people are there to hook up, like especially on the dating apps.
All right. Agreed. Best place to meet a guy is
Gilbert, Arizona.
bullshit.
That's where I'm from.
I got the only eligible bachelor here. Best place to meet a guy is at your most self-sufficient. The best place in your life to meet a guy is when you're the most self-sufficient as a woman. Now, I'm not trying to promote hyper-independency. I'm not trying to promote, being a very masculine woman. I'll quote masculine there. Let's not, But anyways, the best place to meet a guy is at a point in your life where you could take it or leave it. Because as women, we know that, and I'm not going to talk about a physical location to meet a guy, because as Edgar said, like, there's not one single physical location. There's not a pin on a map where it's the best place to meet a guy. I could go on and say that, at a country club, playing tennis, at the golf course where rich men, frequent, or this and that. But if you're not that woman, don't expect a man to pick you, right? And don't expect a man on that level to pick a woman who is not also on that level or established in her career, etc. But if you're looking just to meet a genuinely good guy, there are so many men out here that I've noticed recently are out to get what a woman has. Like people claim women are out to get what a man has, right? And it's such a fucking odd phenomenon to me because I've always been with men who lean more towards the provider side, but it's just you need to be at a good place yourself, and then that man will find you, right? If you're always like striving for more in your career, or you're at a great place in your career, you're busy, with your kids, you're involved with your kids, and that you're going to be at the places where people who are like-minded as you are going to also be, right? So you're probably not gonna be at the bars and at the clubs and everything like that. And if you go out with your girls to the bars and the clubs, more power to you, that's fine, but you're out with the girls. You're not out to go find a husband or whatever. But just be honest with yourself. Like, just like they say, just like women like to tell men, like, if you can't afford to date, don't be out there trying to date. Women, if you can't afford yourself, don't go out there with like a lack mindset, because you're going to try to fill that with anybody who can fulfill like basic needs. That's my advice on that.
Well, yeah. Also, like when a guy knows that you need him.
Oh God, will they take advantage of you?
Yeah, absolutely. And they'll
They're out
know,
there sending you a block of cheese and a loaf of bread. Like, yeah, mommy, be grateful, bitch.
not just that, they know they can get away with a lot because where are you gonna go?
Where are you gonna go?
You know what I mean? Like, especially
Yeah.
and that's what some people like. I know I'm not gonna put her. I had a one-on-one with her. She was wondering what should she do because she was in a relationship with somebody who paid for everything, and she's like, he pays for everything. Like, there's nothing I can do.
But he treats her badly?
I think he was cheating on her.
Oh, okay. So can I talk to her?
Yeah, go ahead.
Get what you can from that man, because if he's doing you dirty under the guise of I'm taking care of you, that's manipulation. So get yourself straight first under the water. Don't let him know that you're getting yourself straight, because he's not going to like that very much once he learns that you're going to be self-sufficient and independent and financially, sufficient just within yourself. It's not going to rub him right? So under the water, do your shit, and then get the fuck out of there. That's what I'll say. Take what you can from him. If he's going to be fucked up to you, look, get your shit paid, and then get the fuck out of there, Porque si hay maldad, if there's like, what's it called? Like maldad? Like, if there's like bad intentions on his side, like, what do you owe him? Nothing. I'm sorry. Hate me.
No, yeah, and he knows that you need him.
That is so fucking insidious. That's the most sinister thing that a man can do to a woman, I think.
Yeah, and like he knows that you're not gonna go anywhere because, like, what
Show
are you
him.
like,
Show
what are
him
you
where
gonna
you're
do?
going.
And so, and I'm glad you gave that advice. And just to anybody who also is going through something or don't let yourself be in that position.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, make sure you're good on your own.
I like that when we met each other, we were really not trying to meet anybody.
Yeah, and that's usually the best time you run into the best person that
I
way.
know it
Is like
sounds so cliche, but like
when you least expect it.
Yeah.
So, next question that we have. This one's getting a little out there.
Yes.
Can you forgive a sister for cheating with my kid's dad? Absolutely not. Like, especially your kid's dad. And you know how some people say, "Oh, blood is thick, like what thicker than what?" No, because there's people who are not your blood, who are super close to you and basically family. Just because they don't share the same blood, does not make. You know what I mean?
Here's the problem. Both of them are blood. You can say that your baby daddy is not blood, but you share children with him. So this is a person that's going to be a constant in your life. Your sister, you can't unbiological that. But
yeah, to me, like,
can you forgive listen, guys listening right now? She's going to forgive her sister eventually. She will not forgive you. Because, look, a sister bond is a lot different. You can forgive your sister eventually.
well, yeah, I think with any sibling too, but because
But God, sis, why?
yeah,
What the fuck?
I would just see that person differently.
Yeah, you're never gonna forget.
Like, yeah, we're sisters.
Let's keep it cordial over Christmas dinner, but yeah.
But I don't think it would go back to be like.
No, never. And it shouldn't.
And I like what DMX says. He did an interview. He's like, yeah, I know how I have snakes in my group. He's like, but trust them to be a snake. He's like,
Oh.
have these people that are like that, he's like, trust them to be that. He's like, if you know they're a snake, trust that they're a snake. So there's only certain things you can do with this person, you know?
Okay.
And so like with your sister, trust that she stabbed
Trust
you in the
her
back.
be a snake.
Yeah.
Trust her be a snake.
Trust that like she's a snake, so trust that she's a snake. So now going forward,
Just move
yeah.
accordingly.
And so it's a great clip because like the person is going to be who they are. Like, so just trust that that's who they are and that's the way you move around them. You know what I mean? Like if they're snakes, because there some I know he had some people who were like snakes, and he's like, I know. He's like, but I trust that they're snakes.
That's the ultimate boss move. Like, yeah, I know you've been moving like this the whole time.
Yeah, he's like,
Go on.
so he moves accordingly to them being snakes. So there's only like
Good
certain
advice.
things, certain and same with like just in overall life, your sister, it could have been a friend, it could have been whoever. Just move accordingly, you know? Like that's they are. If you want to forgive them, cool. You know, that's like being able to forgive somebody, you know, it goes a long way. But just in the future, just know they've done that before. It was so easy for them to do it one time. What makes
Keep your guard up. That's
what
all.
makes you think they won't do it again?
Yep.
All right. So next question that we have. How do you feel now that you have a partner in your life? Now these ones we're doing mine. That
Yeah,
came. So
I caught
sometimes they're a little directed towards somebody.
Good.
I feel horrible. No, I'm joking. Imagine just I hate it.
She's abusive.
I hate it here. Help me, please. No, it's been great. Especially you. I've been going to a lot of these like seminars, these conventions, these self-help development, how to grow, and one of the more common things on there is that yeah, you can do it by yourself, like whatever you're trying to do, but if you have that right partner that helps you grow, it's a whole like the amount you can grow and how fast you can grow is endless if you have the right partner. If you have someone who's like, why do you need to do that? Like, why are you doing that? It's different. You know what I mean? And so finding somebody who also is in this space is a huge blessing just because you understand, you know, and then me.
In this space as in like a fellow creator.
Yeah, yeah. And then I asked her if she wanted to be on the podcast more, and she's like, yeah, let's do it. It wasn't like, I don't want to be on camera. You know how like somebody who doesn't create content is just like.
No, I'm very vain.
Yeah, and so finding it's not so much finding a partner, it's like finding the right partner. Like one, she's amazing with me. You know what I mean? The way we talk, the way we just like, you know, get physical sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, just like things like that. It's great. And then like the way we can do this type of content, and have these conversations. I think earlier when we had that conversation, I think it was like the first time that we disagreed on something, which is totally fine because we're not going to agree on everything. Of course, there's some things that we're like, yeah, that's true. Yeah. But there's some things I'm like, or there's going to be more things.
I just don't think that our egos are big enough, like the both of us, to have to agree.
And so the biggest thing for me is finding that right partner that's going to help. And she's like, well, whatever you think, she's like, lead the way. Like, and she's gonna try to help where she can.
But see, you've fostered that environment. You fostered that woman inside of me where I can trust you to lead already. It wasn't easy for me. I was a very hyper independent, hyper masculine woman before, and now it's just I always look at you and I say like, if you like it, I love it.
Yeah.
If that's what you think is best, I'll follow because you've never steered me wrong.
Yeah, and so just advice to anybody is not so much finding a partner. You could find a partner really fast, like if you wanted to. You know what I mean? Like you could just be like, I'll give this dude a chance, whatever. Like maybe he's a bad person, but finding the right partner is like.
It's not about finding a girlfriend or boyfriend. It's about finding a partner.
Yeah,
I'll say it that way.
The right partner, somebody that you can be friends with and want to hang out with.
A business partner as well.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we have to sit down with each other and say like, I think this is the right move. What do you think about this? And we're not talking to each other like boyfriend and girlfriend. We're speaking to each other as like co-creators, business partners, etc.
Yeah, and that's what people don't understand. Like, there's those, and
there is business in a relationship.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've seen it too, where the guy or the girl would rather go hang out with the friends instead of being like, no, this is my best friend here. Like literally, like I want to do everything with this person. You know what I mean? Like what?
No, but we talked about this before. Like hanging out with friends is also super important. I think your tone was super crazy right there.
Yeah, no. So
But
so don't
hanging
get
out
me.
with your friends is super important. Don't get with a person who is like, "What? You're really gonna go with your friends and hang out with me?" This guy is busy all the fucking time. If I want to go hang out with my friends, he's gonna be like, "All right, babe, like I'll send you guys some drinks or whatever, and I'll bring him home dinner." Like,
It's not.
I don't know.
So what I mean by it is that they choose to hang out with their friends instead of you. There's like, oh, like what is my man always want to hang out with his friends on the weekends and
Maybe because
never
his
me.
friends don't. Never mind.
No, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's constant like that. When you're with somebody, you should be wanting to be like, hey, like, I kind of want to bring her too. You know, like, I get it. Again, have your boys' night,
No,
have your girls' night,
wherever you go, your partner should always be welcome, but also partners should know their places as
and
well.
you should also want to do certain things. Like, say, like,
Of course, yeah.
like, oh, they're gonna go. Like, some guys only travel with their friends. Like, they hardly ever want to travel with their. Like, why wouldn't you want to go with your girl? You know what I mean? Like, it's.
May the Lord bless and keep those men far away from my friends, please.
But you know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah.
So like, I like doing things with you. Like there's different. Like we said that since we're both fairly new to this place, like trying new places. Like we tried an Italian restaurant the other day. Was
I wanna go back there.
Yeah, it was fucking. No, we can't do double. Like we got to go to new
I'm a
places.
creature of habit.
And because there's plenty of places here. Of course, I mean, I don't mind going back to that one because it was good. But like wanting to try different stuff instead of being like, yo, let me hit up a buddy, let's go out there.
I think that's weird.
You know what I mean? Like I would rather be like, hey, like let's go do this. You know, you should be wanting
Also,
to do
I
with
think
your
couple friends kind of get along better.
yeah. Like we were talking to
Positive influences and stuff. Like when we
Yeah.
hang out with you and Jess.
Yeah, we even told him to come out here. Like let's make a weekend out of the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight.
That'd be so good.
That like and then just Top Golf is not that far from here, and I know that's something that they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And just hang out. There's plenty of things to do out here, you know. So
Yeah.
just finding the right partner, because again, you're gonna deal business, personal life, like everything with this person. And if you don't want to do these things with this person,
I think it's important to also just really drill in the fact that like sometimes it's business with your partner because your finances are your business. Like we talk about investments a lot. Like where do we want to be in a year? Where do we want to be in 5 years, investment wise and stuff like, and that's us looking each other in the eye and being business partners. Like you telling me this is what I've experienced, this is the best investment that I see, and me saying like this is, like it does have to be like that. You do have to take the romance out of it sometimes, but at the end of the day, you have to fulfill all these different outlets like as a partner, like a business partner, a romantic partner, a friend, etc.
yeah, and that's why I feel great that I found her, you,
Period.
because she fulfills a lot of those needs.
A lot.
All right, so let's go on to the next question. All right, let's see. How do you tell the person you're sleeping with that you need more foreplay and affection from them?
That's all you right there.
We've talked about it before. I think we talked about it on the I can't remember. But so foreplay doesn't so many people confuse foreplay for it has to be while you're in the bedroom. Foreplay should have been started from dinner. Whether you went out to dinner or you had dinner here. Flirting with them, kissing with them, doing like little things like that. And then of course it continues to that. And then obviously it just leads to a better experience. Now, how do you tell somebody this? Tell them. Like there's no way to sugarcoat it, because this person is going to react no matter how lightly you tell him, how aggressive you tell him, like he's going to react.
I think you should just go straight for the throat. Like, baby, I need more.
Well, yeah, be like, hey, that's what I mean. You need to tell him straight up. Don't beat around the bush. Don't be like, hey, like maybe we should. No, be like, hey, I need you to do this for me.
If I were to tell him one day, baby, I need more, he would go into full panic mode, start reevaluating all his fucking life decisions and be like, have I not been doing enough? But there are men and there are women who, if their partner told them, I need more, they would be like, I do fucking everything for you already. I try my best. Like, it doesn't matter if you think you're doing everything, if you think you're trying to do your best and everything. If your partner says, I need more, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and it's, if they feel like it's a
chore
or something, if they feel like you're asking a lot from them, which you're really not.
You're not.
Just because you want a few more slaps on the butt at dinner, grab maybe a kiss here and there, and then it leads to something different. You know what I mean?
Titty.
Yeah, because again, foreplay doesn't start as soon as you guys get in the bedroom. Foreplay has started.
Tell her to sit the fuck down while you wash the dishes. If she's over there washing the dishes, tell her, hey baby, sit down. I got this. Why don't you just go relax?
That or
Lord, you get your discs. You get your dick sucked so hard.
Or yeah, that, and then just like looking over at her and like flirting with her, you know, like telling her something sexy.
El deseo es muy poderoso.
Yeah, and it's just little things. And again, so just being straight up with the person, telling them, and if depending on how long, I mean, I always say if you tell somebody something and it makes them leave,
you just expedite the process.
Exactly. And so if they leave, yeah, it's probably gonna suck. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah, but they were gonna leave eventually.
Trust me, because your person who's gonna not think it's too much is really out there.
And also, don't let somebody get away with things. Meaning, like, if they gave you all this attention, and now they start giving you less, bring it up, because
yeah, why'd you switch up?
Yeah, like, why are you switching up? Like, why are you giving me less? Don't give them an excuse. Be like, he may be tired today. Like,
why?
this, like, he was tired before.
Why?
Yeah, he was tired before.
Men are never too tired for things that they want anyways.
The more you let him get away, he's like, oh, well, we haven't done it in 4 days. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't done it in a day. So 2 won't be bad. You know how there's some people who gone like weeks without doing it, months, years without doing it? It's because you don't say anything. If you would have said it the moment you guys missed the day, he would have been like, oh, shit, fuck, I can't be caught slipping.
And there you set your expectations.
Yeah. And so be like, hey, like, what happened yesterday? Why didn't we fuck?
And then she says, I'm sorry, babe, I was tired. Like, I had soccer practice with the kids. And then, like dinner fucked me up last night. Da, da, da. Then, as a man, or if he said, like, or, you know, the opposite, too. If he's the one that makes dinner or does, like, practices and stuff like that. Like, just listen to where they're lacking. And then that's your cue to, I need to step up in these areas so that I also get my needs fulfilled in other ways.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about talking and bringing it up. So the best advice I can give there is don't wait and tell him. Like, because if he was great in the beginning and he just slowly started getting less and less, no, bring it up, because you just need to recorrect him real quick, you know, because they'll be like, oh, fuck, don't get caught slipping because she noticed the one time we didn't do it, just because, like, don't let him get lazy. He wasn't lazy when he was trying to court you. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't lazy then, but now he's gotten a little tired. Like, tired of what? Tired of you? You know? So
why are you causing problems?
Hey, just being straight up. And then there's no easy way to tell him. Just tell him. Because if you tell him the most nicest possible, softest voice ever, if you tell him and it hurts his ego, he's going to react, like, no matter.
Use as few words as possible and just say it.
Yeah, just be like.
Type a prompt into Chat GPT. I don't know.
And see what they tell you.
See what Chat GPT tells you.
All right, so. All right, let's get into another one. Any tips for attempting to date after a toxic, abusive relationship? Now.
Don't. For a while.
Yeah, exactly. Take your time and heal. Like, don't.
Get a hobby.
Don't feel, because yes, it's going to feel great. The next person, because you're going to be like, this is amazing, this is great. But you're falling in love with the feelings, not that person.
And you could also be falling in love with the bare minimum.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what he's giving you is the bare minimum still.
But you wouldn't know.
Yeah. And so it's just taking a little bit of time to heal. Like, take some time for you. You know what I mean? Like, focus on you. And then you never know. You might be ready. So many people jump from relationship to relationship. So they don't even... It's because they're too afraid to be alone for a little while, which being alone...
Guilty.
You know, being alone can be actually good, you know? Yeah, don't get me wrong. I told you I was, like, single for 3 years. At times, you see like, couples and stuff doing stuff. and you're just like, that'd be kind of dope to do with somebody. But then at the same time, you're just like, whatever. Because I also stopped accepting the bare minimum from people. And so,
Yeah, you have high standards.
yeah. And like, if somebody can't fulfill that, then obviously we're not meant to be with each other, you know? And trust me, I've been there where you're like, maybe I'm asking for too much. And then you settle for less and you're just like, fuck this.
We were both there. We were both like, Jesus, we're asking for too much. And then we met each other and we're like, what the fuck? You exist?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's out there. You just got to give yourself, like, you have to be in the position to be able to find that too. Like, you can't be stuck in some toxic relationship and expecting that person to change, first of all. And the longer you're with this person is the longer it's going to take you to find the other person.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just take some time to heal. Do you. Don't rush into anything just because.
If that toxic relationship is still on your mind, probably take some more time.
Yeah, if you constantly have to think about that situation. Yeah. All right, so we got a few more questions here. Sorry if this episode is taking a little bit longer, but I feel like there's a lot of great value in here. Those are your questions. Sorry, I'm scrolling through. Okay, I think this one's more towards you. As a single mom, how do you introduce your man? How do you introduce your man to your kids? When do you find the right time and a way to introduce them?
Okay, I'm going to keep this short and sweet because I think we kind of touched on this in the other questions. The right time to introduce your man to your kids is when you have already established that he's got something going for himself, that he wants something serious with you more than just fun, and that you've already checked into his background and the people around him and his the validity of this person enough to feel okay with your kids around him. Also, it doesn't hurt to have a conversation with your kids about, would you like to meet mommy's friend or whatever. I let's keep it short and sweet. Open communication with your kids. You always, like he said, you're always talking about how smart your kids are and everything. My kid's so smart. Well, then talk to them straight up, al chile pelon. Hey, would you like to meet mommy's friend or mommy's boyfriend or the guy mommy's dating, whatever. And if the guy doesn't want to meet your kids, he doesn't want anything with you, first of all. And if your kids don't want to meet the guy, then don't force it on them, period. Let's keep it safe.
Yeah, it was funny what Luna told us yesterday. You were... she was over here in app because obviously I was working yesterday, meaning like I was on my computer like editing some stuff. And then Luna came over there and she's like, Edgar, I'm like, what's up? And she's like,
this is, babe. Okay, say it.
She's like, are you going to love my mom until December? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to love your mom past December. Why? She's like, shrugs her shoulders and walks off. And I thought it was like cute because like one, obviously she wants me to be around.
She doesn't want you to go away.
Yeah, she doesn't want me to go away, and she doesn't want to like. And I get it, and that's why I was like, like to me it was more of a one. She wants me to be around. Obviously, it's not like fuck we. Like,
yeah.
She's like, can you like be here longer? That's how I saw it. Because I'm not going anywhere. Don't get me wrong. Like I don't want you guys to think anything.
But you guys also have to remember, like my kids lost their dad.
Yeah.
So my kids just crave the stability and consistency in their life. And yeah, it was sweet and endearing, but it was also a really emotional moment for me too. She came over here and told me that you were going to love me past December. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, I asked him. He said he's going to love you more than that. And I thought it's a really sweet, genuine moment, but yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I really liked it because one, she like wanted me to be around.
Yeah. And she doesn't want you to go anywhere.
Yeah. And so, what was the original question to that one?
When do you
introduce kids?
Introduce kids.
Yeah, see, and like again,
just take cues from everybody.
Yeah, take cues, and also, fellas, if you're talking to somebody who has kids, don't force yourself into anything. Like, let them go at their just build that trust with the mom.
But also, if the guys don't, if you're thinking like, I'm not trying to meet our kids, be open with that, because maybe she's just trying to fuck you too, but maybe she's trying to get something more. So let her go find that elsewhere if you're not trying to do that.
Yeah, and also like the same with the guys that force themselves and like, why don't you introduce me to your kids? Like, why don't this X Y Z?
Creepy.
Yeah, creepy vibes, red flag instantly. But fellas, it should just be something that happens over time. Right. Never rush into it.
Whenever you're ready, Mama. Yeah, that's it.
Never force anything. That's what I would recommend.
Right.
All right, so we'll do this last one. How do you get over a past trauma? I keep sabotaging my new relationships.
Why'd you look at me like
I,
that?
I think
I do that.
I get it. Like when you go through like a previous relationship where it was like a bunch of trauma, you instantly think it's going to be the same or something similar, you know? And so you start thinking you ruin, because I've done it too before. I'm not going to act like I've never done it before too. Like I've also ruined shit in the past because of past traumas.
I'm a huge self-sabotager as well.
And so when maybe they were trying to be the best person to you, you know what I mean? And you, meaning like they had no bad intentions towards you. You just automatically thought,
Oh, like this new person. Yeah.
yeah, like this person is,
It could be an innocent thing.
yeah. And so
Take more time. Honestly,
I
if
think
you have
so.
to ask these questions, take more time. Consult a therapist. Like, just take more time. If you're asking, I don't know.
Yeah, I would just say take more time.
Eventually, this
And
topic's going to become irrelevant for you.
yeah, like if you feel like you're constantly sabotaging relationships, like you said, just take a little bit more time. Meaning, like, not more time with this person, more time
To
being on your
yourself.
own.
Yeah.
More time being on your own to the point where you're just like, you want to give somebody a chance. Like you're gonna give this person time and effort. You're not gonna. You don't think that
But
they're gonna.
even when you've given yourself time, though, I'm not gonna let's cut the shit. Like even when you've given yourself enough time, you can still self sabotage. Like the other day, remember I was telling you what was it that I was trying to self sabotage? We were talking, and I was like, oh, because he was just making casual conversation. And he was like, I was like, oh, I'm over here picking up Oliver, and he was like, oh, he's like, oh, that's right. Like, didn't you have this or whatever? And I was, but my schedule had changed, and I was like, why are you checking up on me so much? Like, do you think I'm doing something wrong? And he was like, oh, I was just making conversation, and it was like, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
it's because like I had an ex that was constantly like, if I was like, I'm gonna go to the grocery store and then pick up the kids, but I picked up the kids and then went to the grocery store, he would be like, why did you do it reversed? What are you hiding? And I'd be like, what? So like him, like, oh, okay, yeah, I thought you were doing this first, but like whatever. I got triggered, and he was, and then you were like, you're self sabotaging right now. Like I made a big deal.
yeah, because I'm always, because I told her too. I was like I didn't mean it in a as a questioning you,
Yeah.
like what are you doing? Like you said you were gonna. It was just more kind of like when you talk to somebody, you're like, oh, how's your day going? And I'm just like, oh, I'm like, did you go get Oliver's pictures done?
Yeah.
And that's how like, and she's like, oh no, we got busy. I was like, oh, so you guys aren't gonna do it? Like, kind of like, did it get canceled or what happened? Because I'm,
But you see how my mind turned that into like him
But
trying
I'm-
to check in on me.
yeah, because I'm genuinely curious about how her day is going. Like, you know, what happened? Like, oh, this happened. We had to change this. Like having a conversation with your person, not like you said you were gonna take pictures. Like, why didn't you take them?
But you see how I took it because I was in a toxic and abusive relationship? Like, I took it completely, I 180'd.
Yeah, and so like that's why we had the conversation we did, and I told her I was like, hey, like I'm just asking you, like how it's almost like, hey, like oh, did you go do this today? You know, like because she literally told me what she was gonna do. I think the day before, or earlier that day, she's like, oh, I have to go do this, I have to go do this, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I remembered all of it, and so I'm like, oh, did you get this done? And she's like, no, I just picked up the kids or something like that. And then I was like, oh, so you're not gonna get his pictures done? You know, kind of like just curious, not in a bad way.
Yeah, I just took it as like he's checking in on me for everything, like micromanaging and stuff.
Yeah,
but,
it was just the conversation, kind of like if
but
I
he was like, what the fuck? Are you okay?
Yeah, like-
hey.
like if we had I told you like say for example, oh today I was gonna go meet up with X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like, oh, did you meet up with X? Yeah, but didn't go. Yeah, but it didn't go as planned or something like that. And you'd be like, what about why? You know, like just having that conversation. Like, say for example, we're gonna go meet up with Lalo or something, and you'd be like, oh, why didn't you go? You know, like kind of like, oh, it didn't happen
But
because
it's because of those past traumas. Like she was saying, like if you were in a traumatic relationship, it's because all of those things are in the back of our heads. And so you have to ask yourself, like, is this something that I'm perceiving this to be, or is this reality? And just having a safe person to say like, hey, like this is what I'm perceiving this to be, but like, am I seeing this correctly or am I tripping? That's always a safe question.
Yeah. And so, and I think that's what I do too, as well, is like, I'm like, you're overthinking, you know what I mean? Like, you're overthinking this situation, you're overdoing this, or you're just like, you need to chill out. This person is not trying to do that.
Yeah.
You know, because again, like you said, it doesn't just go away. You know,
Yeah.
like one day you're like, oh shit, it's gone. You know, it's more of you just almost have to like show yourself, because it's really hard, because it's something that's in your brain. You can't just
trauma rewires
you. You can't just be like, get out of here. You know, it's more of just like trying to like show yourself. And that's why like it's asking those questions too before, or like talking to yourself, be like, is he? Or like, was he just having a like why am I feeling like this? Or like I shouldn't be feeling like this. Maybe they're doing
all
this.
Of that self-talk takes coaching and takes therapy. You have to know to ask yourself and to ground yourself with these questions. Like it takes a lot of practice.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's easy.
No, it's
this shit is
definitely
hard. But that's why I'm glad that we were able to have that conversation, so I could tell her why I got upset, because I was like, I wasn't trying to grill her. I was legit just asking, like, almost like, how's your day going? You know what I mean? And so, but she learned. That's why we talked about it, and then she knew where I was coming from, and I know where she was coming from too. It's not like I'm just like, I was right and you were wrong. No, absolutely not. Like, I get why you got upset, past relationship. But then I also told her why I got upset, because I was like, how are you going to tell me that I'm grilling you? Like, when I'm asking you, just like, hey.
I overreacted, but.
You know, and so.
Sometimes you're going to overreact.
But that's why, like, we had that conversation and we're fine. You know what I mean? Like, we talked about it. Figured how we both were at the time. You know what I mean? Like, I got to know, like.
Well, you got to know that those were my triggers.
Yeah,
as
like
well.
I got
and
to
you
know,
also
like,
got to ease them.
Yeah, and so like it was just me also being like, the reason I got upset was like, I'm just asking how your day is.
Well, no, let's be honest. The reason that he got upset was because I was very rude and I was very aggressive towards you. Tell him the truth. That's why you got upset, because I me pasé de lanza. I crossed the line, and I immediately went into an accusatory tone and everything, like, why are you trying to check up on me and my ex did this? And he was like, so you're comparing me to my ex now? Like, don't know what I did to deserve that. And I was like, well, it's because how you're acting. And I, going back and reading the text, I was like, Jesus Christ, Ariana. Like, tell him that's why you got mad, because I came at you so aggressively.
Yeah, for me just checking.
Yeah,
on
be
how
for
her
real.
day's
That's
going.
why.
And so that's why I got upset. But then we were both able to talk about it. Meaning, like, and also, like, sometimes you need it over the phone, because that's where we talked about it, was over the phone. It wasn't text, because you can
misconstrued tone.
Yeah, and be like, because I told her, I was like, this is the way I meant it, you know. And she was like, she explained why she thought, and I was like, I get that. And then we were able to like understand one another, and then be able to move past that. Meaning, like, now in the future, I'm like, okay, like, hopefully she doesn't think that I'm doing it out of, because I told her straight up, that's how I am. Like, I can't change, like, me just wondering how your day's going.
Yeah.
You know, I'm naturally going to be like, oh, did you go do this? Because me, hey, Edgar, you remember little details. Like, she said she was going to go do this. Did you get it done? You know, like, oh, did you go do this? And
I had you fucked up that day. I'm sorry.
But I know some people, past traumas, it could be, I get where that came from. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I get that triggered something, because there's stuff that triggers people all the time. And the way you react, that's why, for example, I'm like, when you bring it up to somebody about certain issues, it's going to trigger them. And however they react is going to react, no matter how lightly you told them, how aggressively you told them. It's going to trigger.
Conflict resolution is the key here, though. Like, which is also like a huge indicator, I think, of like relationship success, is how well you handle conflict.
Yeah, because again, no relationship is perfect. Like, I know some people would be like, yeah, you guys have issues with your relationship. I know for a fact we have our arguments, but it's not even argument. Well, it was an argument, but it's more about how you resolve those instead of just being like, fuck you, you were wrong.
While maintaining a mutual respect, if you can resolve conflict, I think that's a good indicator.
And absolutely, and also being able to see your partner's side, not just like I was like you were wrong,
or sympathy.
and that's what I told her. Like I understand where she got triggered from. Totally makes sense. Past relationships, past traumas, 100%. I understand, but it's also I told her why I got upset. So it's just having the conversation with your partner, telling them like understand, listening to them where they're coming from, so you can get where their headspace is at and where they came from and why they reacted like that. And then also them listening to you, you know what I mean? So you can see exactly what we did. I got to see where she came from. She got to see where I was coming from, and it wasn't in the like bad intentions. And we were able to fix this instead of it escalating to something that it didn't need to escalate to.
Sure.
So you just need to have these conversations. And especially because nobody's perfect. Like I tell her too that I'm not perfect. I have my issues. I have my flaws. Just because for the most part, everybody gets to see, doesn't get to see them on social media. You know what I mean? Like they don't get to see my overthinking, you know what I mean? Like I overthink a lot of things. Like they don't get to see that type of stuff, but this is why I'm glad we do this, because one, it just helps us out. You know what I mean? Like it helps us out. Like,
is this therapy?
What? So
just kidding. There's no replacement for therapy. Please call your therapist.
The reason I like to do it, even when I was doing them by myself, is when you say some of these things out loud and talk about them, it kind of it's different. Like you can get over things. You can talk about things. You know what I mean? Like it's different when you say it out loud or when you talk to somebody about it. So especially your partner.
Yeah.
Like if you can talk about these things with having a conversation. Like we could sit here and like get mad at each other for something. You know what I mean? Like, but we can sit here and we can talk to each other and we can like have these type of conversations. And you should be able to do the same thing with your partner.
Period.
So I think the biggest thing, if you're trying to get, because again, you're not going to get over it. Hopefully they listen to you and where you came from, and listen to them and where they came from. And hopefully you can like find that, okay,
some kind of like common ground,
right? Like some sort of common ground, and so, or knowing that they didn't mean it in a bad way. You know what I mean? Like it was actually me overreacting, you know, or something like that. Like,
and also if after this conversation things don't make sense to you still, just say goodbye. Stop trying to make a square fit into a circle. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, because some people you're not going to be able to have a conversation with. Some people are just going to be
it's okay to look them in the eyes and say, thank you for that feedback. I'm done here.
I think that's why it's also good to date somebody who's a little bit more emotionally mature, because
yes, baby,
when you're younger, it's all you're right and you're wrong. You know, I was like that when I was younger. I'm right, you're wrong. I need you to see it. You know what I mean? Like, but now I'm just like, I'm not always right.
And he's not, guys.
You know what I mean?
Most of the time, I am.
All right, this podcast is over. No, it's like, fuck this. Throw the mic and then like.
I'm hungry. I really want wings.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that was so random.
No, we can. But I want to thank you. I know we went a little bit longer on this one, but there's like some great advice, and I'm excited for people to listen to this one. And people love hearing like our conversations, which is great. So I'm excited for like future stuff. And if you haven't followed her on Instagram, definitely go follow her. She does some great stuff, and we're gonna make sure she's been posting a lot more. She's been being a little bit more active on there, which not pushing her to like.
We call it gentle inspiration.
Exactly.
Where he's like, look at all I have. Don't you want that too?
No, it's not.
Yo hago post cuando me da la gana.
No, it's not. Look at what I have. I was like,
no, well, not in that way, but
it's look what we could have. We just need to work to get there.
And I was like, ay, qué hueva. Just kidding.
And then, but it just takes time. I'm not forcing her to do anything. It's just.
I'm excited for where we're going together, though.
Yeah, gently inspiring. And then she's slowly starting to record content more on her own. And she like showed me like that one video that you did with you and the girls. Like when you guys were, it's just
Oh
like
yeah,
little
we're
things
going
like
into
that.
little vlogs. I can't wait to show you guys though.
Yeah,
It's
see?
honestly fun.
So it's just little things like that. So
And now it's time for us to go get the kids because they're outside playing. They've been out there for a little bit. They're probably tired.
yeah, they're probably over it too. So they actually really wanted to watch us, but
9 and 7. They honestly, my girls would be over here like, tell them, like no, they're
Or
they're
laughing and
parrandera.
stuff.
Yeah, no.
But anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. Give us a thumbs up, a 5-star wherever you guys are listening to. Make sure if you guys want to follow Ariana, her link, I always tag her in the description, so definitely go follow her. Or I'm sure you came over from TikTok or Instagram too to watch this. People have been asking for a little bit longer episodes. This one is a little bit longer, so I'm glad
You're
for that
welcome.
one. But yeah, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
See you.